start up the bike and you'll see me get ready. You'll hear the noise, but don't worry about it. Okay, so quite clever. What we're going to do here, we're going to connect the mic to the mic. Yeah. See how that sounds with this mouthpiece on. Down comes the visor. Right, let's go. What a palaver, have you noticed? All the little annoying things. Remote key not in range, well, it is because it's in my pocket. BMW? Seriously? Come on. Join? I mean, seriously. You couldn't make this shit up. You gotta leave, fucking hell. By the time you get going, it'll be time to come home. Alright, let's go. Bloody Nora. Right. Vegas, here we come. Now this jacket's better for long distance travelling, but my neck movement's not brilliant, it's quite restrictive. See what I mean? I'm really struggling to look. What a beautiful day. What an absolute beautiful day. Now I was worried about being cold, because it said sort of around 0 degrees, going through Big White, or past Big White. But I think I may have been overcautious, but I think being overcautious is better than getting cold, because once you get cold on a bike, it's hard to warm up again. You have to stop and warm up, and it takes quite a while, and you obviously are losing your travel time. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm riding an R1250 RT 2021 from Kelowna, British Columbia. Same sort of latitude as Vancouver. All the way to Las Vegas, and I'm stopping one night in Boise, Idaho. Well, with a name like that, you've got to go to Boise. Without stops, it's 11 hours riding on both days. I then spend 2 days there, and then I do exactly the same thing coming back. So we should see some amazing driving on our trip. No disrespect to the North Americans, but it's not Europe. Actually, the Italians are a bloody nightmare. I rode through Europe last year, and it was such an interesting experience seeing the different standards of driving. Germany and Austria fantastic, France goodish, UK good, Italy a nightmare, Spain a nightmare. As you can see, it's quite a beast, this bike. It's very comfortable, but I'm getting used to these new boots. And the toe and the heel is not quite right for the gear stick. Not quite the right shape. So I'll probably fill up with fuel in Rock Creek, where I'll turn west and head to Boise and go over the border there. Now all week I've been having weather warnings like flood warnings and winter storm warnings. But today we're fine. So you gotta love Canada. Well, particularly this part. The weather is gorgeous, the scenery is excellent. "11 hours plus stops. I'm probably going to be on the road, what, 13 and a half hours? Nice twisty little road. Yeah, this jacket, seriously, tanning my neck. The lifesaver maneuver, looking over your shoulder, nightmare, absolute nightmare. I wanted to wear my Ducati jacket, but it's a summer jacket. And this has got more protection in it, should I fall off. So this is the first time I've done riding and vlogging. And I have to say, it's a little bit harder than I thought it would be. What's that about men and multitasking? On the way, I'm going to point out a few things about interesting sort of road etiquette, or just the way North America does things differently. The ability to turn left across a main junction while cars are still allowed to come straight ahead. Absolute nightmares. And actually, I believe you're 35 times more likely to have an accident. And it's funny, they have those statistics, but they don't change it. They'll go and reduce the speed limit in the middle of nowhere, but they won't look at those stats and say, you know what, maybe this system's not working. And then the other one, which is just unbelievable, is the turn right on a red. But you have to look left to make sure nothing's coming. You have to look right to make sure no pedestrians walking. Again, it's sort of, why would you create something that's going to be likely for an accident? So why am I going to Vegas? I'm off to Vegas to the NAB show, which is all about sort of video, equipment, production, editing. And I've wanted to go for years, and I kind of thought I'd use this as an excuse to see what my stamina's like, having had my little medical setback. For those that don't know, it was 7 weeks of radiology on my tongue and chemotherapy, which kicked the crap out of me. And now I've got a thyroid that's not working brilliantly. So I get tired and I'm off on a massive 12,000 kilometer ride down through Europe, down to Turkey, Cappadocia. Here, because of these boots, these new boots, not quite right. No, it's not as clear when I put that down. I should have worn glasses. Now DaVinci Resolve, which is what I use for editing, it's way too clever for me. Has got some new audio enhancements that should hopefully get rid of all this background noise. Me telling him to just back off a bit. What I do like in Canada and North America is if you can see ahead those lights flashing, it tells you that the light's red, so no point in legging it up there, or that they're about to change to red. And now they've gone out, and now they're coming back on again, so there's no point in me accelerating because they're going to change. That was good, that was perfect. That kind of shows you, which I think is clever. I don't like stopping if I don't have to. Yeah, second to third. It's the same on my S1000. That second to third gear change is always a bit tricky. So it must be a BMW gearbox thing. I bought a holiday resort with a couple, and Kieran, my son, works there. And whilst it's a 2.5 hour, 3 hour journey, with these views, it's lovely. I won't be full of bullshit. I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit mildly intimidated by the sheer distance I'm going. I've done longer, but that was before all of this medical crap. But it's why I'm doing it. I need to get me back. Last weekend I was riding my BMW S1000R. It's a street naked, and it's so much quicker that I can, you know, just overtake without even thinking about it. But this bike's a bit heavier and a bit slower, and I have to put a bit more pre-planning. But for a big old beast, it does move around quite nicely. You know, I'm lucky to have some really nice bikes. I've got a Ducati Diaval V4, the new one, in the UK. But what I will say is, it's a bit like having a convertible. Once you've got one, does it really matter what it is? The fact that you've got a bike and you can ride and enjoy this feeling. It doesn't matter whether it's 5 grand or 50 grand. The enjoyment that you get from it is the same. Those centre lines with the little rumble strips, they really unsettle the bike. Now what I've got to remember is that I'm riding this bike and not the car, and remember that I can't do the corners in the same way. So here's another little interesting fact that I like about Canada. Their roads are quite clever. When they give you a sign for a corner, let's say they say it's 60 or 70, speed limit might be 100, but they'll tell you the corner is whatever. And they've gone and done it very cleverly because they base it on the severity of the turn. So what it means is you can build up confidence in the sign. So if it says 60, well, you could probably do it 120, 130 apparently. Not that I would know. Quite comfortably. And you know you're not going to be surprised. In the UK, you get a squiggly little line. And it could be a nice swooping bend, or it could be a U-turn. You'll see it. You'll see it. in the videos as we're riding. You'll see the signs. Oh, that was kind. See, that's Canada for you. Although what he doesn't realise is I should not be overtaking on doubles, yellow line. And it's frustrating because I don't want to. But then you feel bad for not making the most of their thoughtfulness. So this part of the ride is from Kelowna up through Big White on the I think I'm in the UK, on Highway 33. It's an absolutely gorgeous road. And for all of those people out there that say they don't love cruise control, get over yourself, it's absolutely brilliant. When you're doing long journeys, and on this bike it's also intelligent cruise control. So I can set it and sit behind this car, and if it brakes, the bike will brake. No, on and off. Absolutely brilliant. But then not many people ride 11 hours plus. Shame we got these cars in the way, really. So that is cruise control. Not really sure I should be illustrating it to you when I'm on a twisty, windy road. So I've got my distance to the car in front set to maximum. He slows down, the bike will slow down. He speeds up, the bike will speed up. You change down a gear, it doesn't disengage. So these microphones are tickling my nose. Because I've got the wind muffs on. Easy. Come on, this is beautiful. So what I like doing is finding a car that's going quite quick, and then rather than being the lead person going like a rocket, I'll go maybe a little bit slower than I want to, but sit behind somebody who's going quick, with a view that they'll get stopped for speeding and they'll get caught in the trap before I do. So, what do you think of these roads? Let me know. Gonna get better. It is quite a nimble bike, but you do have to get it all lined up before the corner, because you can't just go and correct it halfway through. I mean, where in the world you get to cruise like this? Not many places. I'd imagine there's parts of Australia, certainly not in the UK or Europe in general. I mean, the views are beautiful going through the Alps and the lakes, but you can't cruise for hours at this kind of pace. So being my first vlog on a motorbike, I will learn a few things, like putting the mics the other way around so the fluffy bit isn't sticking up my nose. Look at that, snow on the mountains. But yeah, for all those guys who vlog on their motorbikes, yeah, hats off to you, because it's a little bit more tricky than I thought. Now I've got the bike in road mode, but I think I'm going to change it to dynamic, given the pace I'm doing. It just wobbles a bit. So that 60 sign you can see there, that means you can do it in a car at least double. Not that you would, obviously. Nice view ahead. Now I was a little bit nervous going across in the US border, just in case they decide to be funny, or not that I've done anything wrong, but it's always a little bit stressful. Where I'm going in this border crossing, I went over by mistake with my son Kieran, who had to renew his visa. And we thought we would stop beforehand at the Canadian side and sort out his visa, not quite understanding. Anyway, we couldn't turn around and they made us go through. And the guy said we'd red flagged. And the guy who, what was his name? It was, I don't know. He was a power control freak. I mean, he was so obnoxious. You know, and he could tell the accents were British. He could tell that, you know, we were confused, but he was just over the top. Anyway, I had to go inside. And, anyway, the guys inside were brilliant. Brilliant. Turned around, left. Went back through the Canadian side. They sorted out Kieran's visa. And the rest is history. But since then, I've just thought, yeah, that kind of guy is on that crossing. Basically, people like him should not have any form of responsibility or power. He was very aggressive. He had no ability to listen to what was being said to him. I wish I could remember his name. I did for quite a while, but... And here we go, look at that. Unbelievable. Bit more vibration through the handlebars than I would like. And not the greatest sound, but my god, it flows. What I'll be interested to see when I have a break is whether my phone has been charged. It's in the right hand pocket down there. And it's got a charger, but there's been quite a lot of complaints and issues with it by riders. The upside of having something in your way is you can enjoy the scenery. What's that? Black something? Is it a cat or is it... Oh, look at that, what is that? Oh, it's just a pussy cat. Oh. I thought I got myself a hybrid cat there. Whilst I love to see wildlife, I really do, when you're getting on with it, that's the thing that will probably kill me. Mind you, that said, rather die like this than in bed with cancer. Looking for 25 ways to kill myself. Important thing is to die with a grin on your face. See, that's wobbling around. I definitely need it on dynamic. change that when we stop. Not going to take my eyes off the road while I'm tootling along. So, do you want to be in a queue at the airport with everybody coughing over you? Or do you want to do this? Answers on a postcard. Beaverdale. Now, whilst I like to get a move on, I don't mess around with urban areas. See, that was the quick shifter, wasn't that rough? Yeah, I don't mess around with urban areas. Kids, animals, cars pulling out of houses. Time and a place. See, here's a classic example of why the cruise control is brilliant. I'm sat behind this guy. Yep. Oh, you see, quick shifter, horrendous. I think maybe twisting the throttle. So I'm sat behind this guy. I can switch off, and I don't mean switch off literally, but I've got the biggest distance, I'm on cruise control, he's tootling through, I can take my hand off the accelerator and give it, you know, a bit of a rest. It's like arthritis as I'm getting older. And most importantly, I can put my hand like this and look cool. Obviously I'm joking. So this general store is lovely, they're really nice people in there. And that is very, very Canadian. Apparently you can't buy fireworks in town, so people come out here to buy fireworks. Nice little lazy overtake. What I've also learnt in Canada, when you're getting a move on, come up behind cars slowly, don't surprise them, overtake them like that, pull away and then get back to your speed you were doing. Because I heard a story about a guy who was getting a move on a motorbike, and he came to a little small town and the police pulled him over and told him that somebody had reported him for doing excessive speed. And obviously he said it wasn't him, but he did see a motorbike almost identical go past him. The officer apparently just smiled and said, "I don't believe in coincidences." Anyway, apparently when the guy got back and looked at his app, he'd been doing 212 kph. And that's what taught him and then me about overtaking and having a certain degree of using your brains and etiquette. And let's be honest, you come up behind a car really quick, you scare the crap out of them. Which is mildly funny, but not for them. And it won't be funny if you end up in the ditch. The only thing I will say is when you've got the screen up, it's just slightly distracting. Because you're not in it or under it. Sorry, under it or over it. You're right in the middle. And I find I move my body to compensate, so I'm not sat in the most comfortable or appropriate position because I'm moving slightly for the screen. It's very effective though. What's the temperature? Oh, it's plus 9 degrees. Well, okay. It's warmer than I thought it was going to be. I've literally got 2 pairs of leggings on, 4 merino tops, wind cheaters, boots, merino socks, and a big old jacket. Yeah, it's wobbling too much. See that? You see me wobbling up and down? So you've seen the bike. While I'm down there, I think I might apply for California Highway Patrol, bit like being a prefect at boarding school. That was never going to happen. I was far too naughty. Now you see, I've got to remember that this bit is always bumpy, and it's bumpy in a car, so it'll be more so on this bike. So my wife is as nervous as hell about my little trip. She worries more than I do. I'm mildly intimidated because of my stamina levels. Bless her, but she's really worried. But she can track me using Find Friends on the Apple iPhone. She said, oh, would I text her? And I said, well, you can follow me on the app. You know, let me concentrate on riding, my darling. And she said, yeah, but what about when you're out of service? And I said, well, when I'm out of service, darling, I can't text you either. Oh yeah, she said, as I gave her a loving hug. Now I choose not to have a camera on me, or my helmet, or on my breastplate in case I come off. But also, should I, you know, make a mistake and go slightly over the speed limit by a couple of kilometres or miles per hour, I don't want it on video. But obviously that would be a rare thing. So can you feel how I'm just munching up the miles on this bike and these type of roads? It's like your own little track, isn't it? That ranch there is owned by some friends of mine. Chad, Kyle and Dwayne, 3 brothers. So I'm going to record until I get to Rock Creek. Yep, wobbling around. I mean, on a highway, I'm sure it's absolutely brilliant, but yeah, down these twisties, no. That said, I've just put it on dynamic using the button whilst I've slowed down a bit. Let's see what the difference is going to be like. Obviously, I've got all the panniers and full, and the top box. Definitely feels a little bit better. Bit early to tell, but we'll find out in a minute. Oh yeah, that's definitely better. Now I don't know the route I'm going. I mean, obviously I know the route I'm going because I've planned it all, but I do not know what it's like, whether it's boring highway, whether the scenery is going to be good, whether there's twisties. But if it gets boring, I'm not going to film it, obviously, and I'll put it back to road mode. There's the boys. Also, yeah, that is so much better in dynamic mode. And you see that I'm not wobbling as much. Yeah, a lot more planted. I need to get used to it a bit though. I mean, you can cruise at 90 all day long, which obviously I'm doing. I wouldn't be doing faster than that, because obviously it's far too windy. But I have noticed that the sat nav, when it tells you how long it's going to take, it's always sort of half an hour too long. You know, for a 2.5 hour journey, it's sort of half an hour longer than it actually takes. So even though you do the speed limit the whole way and never go over, So I'm wearing a balaclava today, first time I've ever worn a balaclava on a bike. I've got to be honest, it's quite nice on the ears. It's actually I'd probably say I prefer it to earplugs. Not great when it gets hot, but earplugs after a while get quite painful. Cool, very cool. How iconic of North America is this bridge? I swear I've got one of my cat's hairs in my eye. The other thing that you have to take into account in Canada, and we'll see whether it's the same case in North America, north of the USA, is making sure you don't run out of gas, because they can have big distances. I know it's tempting to overtake, but I'll try and be a good boy. I would say thank you. Just hopefully calm them down. And we're going to Boise next. That's where we're going to cross the border. I quite like that oh, should I start again? I quite like that little Rock Creek Trading Post Cafe. Don't like stopping, do I? Las Vegas Boulevard. Okay, before I got to my hotel, I thought we'd do the strip. On the left there is the convention centre, where I will be going to the NEB. So, I was here 4 or 5 weeks ago for my wife's birthday, the Encore, the win. Wasn't great, it was okay. Hence I didn't book my trip this time. Put the screen up, give it a bit of peace and quiet from the wind for the mic. The Palazzo and the Venetian. Now, some of you don't know, but I actually got married in the Venetian in 2005. I sued Vegas because what happened in Vegas didn't stay in Vegas. We got divorced shortly afterwards. I have 2 lovely kids and amicable. But yes, I got married in the Venetian. We actually were in New Zealand, but after a week of rain, supposedly in their summer, I'd had enough, so we went to LA and San Diego and then Vegas. It's a bit strange given all the miles I've done and how few stops, and as soon as I hit Vegas it's red light, red light, red light. Now there's a Trump on the right. I think my wife and her friend stayed there not that long ago. Don't think she was too impressed. I think she preferred the Win. I think she did enjoy the Fontainebleau. Here we go, it's all happening. Actually, it's quite quiet. When we were here last time, this road was packed. So Venetian on the left, Treasure Island for the kids on the right. And up ahead there you can see the Mirage. Really cold the whole trip. But this morning was my fault for not putting on enough layers. I should know better, really. Look at the Venetian. Looks it's quite impressive actually. On the left, St. Mark's Square and the Mirage. I've not stayed in the Mirage or Caesar's Palace, but I have stayed in the Bellagio, the Venetian, the Wynn, and the Fontainebleau. The Flamingo. So that's where the Mixers party is going to be, where I'm going to this evening. I think I'm right in saying that's one of Vegas's oldest, if not first, casinos, but I'm not absolutely sure on that. And there we go, Hell's Kitchen on the right hand side, Gordon Ramsay. I doubt he's in there, but I'm looking forward to my bed, that's for sure. My backside is a bit raw after 2 days of constant riding. And there we go, the Bellagio. Nearly got thrown out of there actually when I stayed. A mate trying to climb a crystal horse that was in the front. That was about 5 years ago. What's annoying is they don't allow filtering. They call it lane splitting because it sounds worse, and that's why they won't allow it. So I've just got to sit here. The reason us bikers like lane splitting is it means we can get to the front, which is great for making progress, but more importantly, somebody's not likely to go up your arse because you end up sitting in between two cars. Shame the fountain's not going. That would be a great sight for the cameras. Especially them on the right side of the road for it. I should have thought about it when I came down and moved right to the right hand lane. It's the Arc de Triomphe on the left. Red lights, I mean seriously. The traffic makes no bloody headway. And what the electricity bill's like for this place. At least I can edit this and cut all these bits out. And I'm pretty sure that's sort of the more well-known part of Vegas. And I think I will do a U-turn and head to my hotel. That's where I'm heading now. Oh look, a red light, what a surprise. No, they're all red, and I bet you they'll be red by the time we get there. You can tell I'm tired, I'm a moany git. But you'd be tired after 12 hours of riding. You think they would time them to be green, wouldn't you? So here we are, Las Vegas Boulevard, the strip, the Bellagio on the left. Oh, and the fountain's going, so we are lucky, and we got Paris. Go on then, let's have a look at that fountain. Here we go, rock and roll. Every time I see a chemist, I think of my wife. Alright, Fontainebleau. And here we go. The Fontainebleau. So here in one piece, just check it out.